That's fair.
I had a dream last night.
Yeah.
That my hair was like as long as yours, and I was contemplating on whether or not to get the side shaved. And Ariel was like Shia LaBeouf in that meme. It was like, just do it. And I remember like touching my hair, just being like, remembering how soft it was. I might have been sleeping with like petting Rambo while I was like, we just almost held hands. You want to hold hands?
Yeah, dude. Why are you being weird about it?
Yeah. I'm always on top, dude.
Really? Yeah, me too, I think. No, I do a bit of both. I fuck around.
I know you do. That's why I said I'm always on top, because I knew I could just put you into that.
You're right.
Into that area.
Yeah,
like
accept it.
But while we wait for our guest tonight, we will talk about where we are, who we are, and what we'll be doing. Does that sound ridiculous?
No, I think that's fine. What we be doing.
Yeah. So we're in 86 West, this beautiful restaurant and bar in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. We're really happy with this location for recording purposes, but this place is quite spectacular for date night, special events, holiday parties. Holidays are coming up. Holiday office parties. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, 2 or 3 bars inside, 1 bar outside. This place has tons of room for all your activities. Amazing menu, amazing staff. If you haven't checked it out already, Doylestown, Pennsylvania, 86 West Restaurant and Bar. So on this episode of Andrew and Gilmar, wait for a guest. We had a lot going on this weekend. We've got the event coming up. Gilmar's got his new business.
Yeah, man. More studios. Check us out.
Amor Studios. He said it really fast because he's cultured.
Amor Studios.
Like, mi amore.
Exactly, bro.
Amor.
Nah, man. It's good. The first week was definitely a little rough because reality set in that, I'm a business owner and I have to make shit happen. And week 2 is a lot better. So I'm excited. Gonna make some cool stuff with some cool people, and that's the goal. Yeah.
So it's halfway through your second official week. Mm-hmm. Things are coming together. You're learning the business riz, the sales riz.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the most difficult thing for you, man to man, in terms of like owning your business, even though you've owned your business for a week and a half?
So far, probably the fear of where the work's going to come from. I think that's kind of been my issue right now, where sometimes I have just sitting down, right, doing something, and I'm like, fuck, how am I getting money for next week,
Well, we just got demonetized because you dropped the F-bomb.
No, I went. I had a moment.
This episode.
Yeah, gone.
Sorry, sponsors.
No, we're 6 minutes in, dude. What are you talking about? No, yeah, so I think that was pretty much about it. And also just, I guess, demonstrating value in what I do. Because at the moment, Andrew and I had a conversation before or during the week that I was going through this, and he told me, it's people need to see it, not just hear it. And I think that's been my thing where I was told kind of, offer them 90% of it for free and then charge a lot for the 10%. So that's kind of what I've been doing a lot lately, where it's kind of showing people what I can do for them. And they're like, oh, how much? For example, I just went out to Colin's showroom. I just pulled up just to say what's up, took some photos, sent it to him, and, kind of showed him what I could do. And from that, kind of help build trust that I can deliver something good. So now he's ready to work.
Yeah. I mean, you're not, I wouldn't say you're the most expensive creator out there. Obviously, that's not possible. Mm-hmm. But you're also not cheap, which you shouldn't be. You've got some experience under your belt and you're talented. But you remember when we used to do those man-eater videos?
Yes.
So like the whole reason that I would, like, if you didn't understand it at the time, I think you understand it now, what we were doing. Even at the time, like, my business partner didn't get what we were doing. And it would, like, sometimes I fail to, like, explain to everybody what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, like, I see it so clearly that, like, I'm just, like, everybody else, like, has to see what I see here. But the whole reason we did the man-eater videos with Ariel was because, like, we were kind of selling your services when we tried to start the first media company. And the way we were doing that was we were creating like a 6-minute interview video where they really trusted Ariel at the end of it, which isn't, it's hard not to trust her and open up to her. But then like we were in like using her as the tip of the spear, get in there, interview these restaurants or bar owners. We would shoot some B-reel and stuff like that. And like, I would always be on your back to be like, this needs to be legit. Like, this needs to be good. Like, we have the microphone cord sticking out of her bra, like always getting better. And at the time, I don't know that you understood what I was doing. And that was like a failure in me explaining it. But I was trying to give these people a reason to like only use us for business. So if you come in hot, like for instance, somebody comes on the podcast, like this is really easy. This is kind of a little bit different because we benefit so much from doing the podcast.
Yeah.
That at the same time, though, it's like, you know, Justin says it really well, where it's like, you know, your relationships should be selfish to some degree. Like, you should be like, hey, like, I'm giving you this in our relationship. What am I getting back? Like, even with your wife, like, are you being a good mom? Like, that's what I expect from you. Like, different things, like, you have to negotiate those in your own life. But I think that the more and more you show everyone like what you can do and get them to trust you, things will really start. I mean, they're already starting to come together now that you've like clicked, I would say, on that. But it's also you've kind of like, it took me forever to get you on the podcast in terms of like in front of a camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, why are you passing up this value? Because there's probably 50 episodes where nobody even knows what you look like. You're just a mysterious voice. So I still think that like, although a lot of people know about you, not a lot of people know you.
Yeah, true.
So I think you experience some uphill, week one's never going to be easy.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? It's training camp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's meant to suck.
Yeah, I got smacked in the mouth and then, you know, felt a little bit like shit. Andrew talked me up and helped out a lot. And the next week it was just learn from what I was doing wrong the first week, and it's just getting better from now on. So
yeah, I think there's a balance between just, you know, finding new people, but also like connecting with the people you already know. Everybody, or not everybody, a lot of sales type folks like always try, when they meet new people, they try and just shove the shit down their throat. It's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, who this how can help you? Buy insurance from me, buy speakers. I'm like, and there's people that happens to me almost daily. People hit me up to try and just sell me stuff typically I don't even need. It's like, I don't need your goddamn speaker service. I've got somebody for that.
Yeah.
So those people are fighting like those other relationships that I already have, which like you're going to experience a lot of that too.
for sure.
But I think that, you know, there's a lot of demand for your services. And even though there is that demand, that doesn't mean it's sold.
Right.
So.
Right. That's something I had to learn too, where it's just because people are interested in working with me doesn't mean I got it. You know, there's still some selling I need to do, some relationship and trust building there that needs to happen. So
yeah, it's crazy how that works. Like I've been disappointed so many times that it still kind of happens to me, but not really. When I get like, I had a guy that I sent a contract to, like he was in my leads pool for over a year. Like if you look at the leads, it's like 378 days. And finally I'm meeting with this guy and talking a contract. Then I sent him the contract. And then like a week goes by. Like he reaches out being like, hey, I'm back from vacation. Send over the contract. Huge remodel. Like $700,000-$800,000. And he emails me back. He goes, yeah, I'll look through the contract. But, you know, I'm really thinking like if we're going this far with it, we might as well just knock the house down and just build a new house.
Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened? Right? I was sure as shit being like, yeah, in a couple of weeks we're gonna start planning this guy's build, like lining the designers up, the art, like getting everybody lined up, and then just like that, boom, haven't heard from him 2 weeks. But it's like I emailed him back and was very honest. I was like, hey, look, like I'm more than happy to go down that road with you, but you're trying to stick to this budget. That budget isn't the same. Like you're opening up a whole bunch of different scopes and different things. And then, you know, I was like, hey, I'm going to give you some time to think about this with this new information. He's waiting on this other meeting, little variance action. to get some approvals, and then he's going to see how that goes. But he's already like anticipating that's not going to go well. So like he's just holding this contract in his hand, and I'm like selling work still. So unfortunately, like you can't wait around for people. So when he falls back into the lineup, he might not be in the lineup that he wants to be in. And that's nobody's fault. It's not his fault for waiting around, because like there's nothing wrong with waiting around and like taking extra time and thinking. Like I have zero problems with that. What I'm touching on is like I thought that fucking project was dead to rights.
Yeah.
Like I was like, here's the contract, DocuSign, boom, done. Contract simple, like ready to go. Boom, out the door. Gone. Like
Shit.
Yeah, like that kid just ran out the front door and left.
Damn.
Yeah. Like get the what?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Start to think it's you.
Yeah, Ariel's in here, stopping by. Do you want to come on the podcast? No, Ariel's not coming on the podcast.
Ariel's chilling today. She doesn't want to be in front of camera.
This is our podcast within a podcast.
Yeah.
Shit is getting out of hand. We have guests here. Rambo's jumping on Ariel. Ariel's hair is looking good. Just got her hair done. Where'd you get your hair done? What? Eden Organic Salon. Shout out. What? Tally.
Shout out Tally.
Yo, shout out Tally.
Yeah.
Eden Organic.
Thank you.
Salon. In Doylestown, Pennsylvania, walking distance from 86 West.
Damn.
Because Ariel didn't drive there, so it's somewhere in town.
That's pretty clutch.
It's keeping my woman looking good.
Did a great job, yeah. Maybe they could hook me up.
Yeah, dude, maybe that would help you sell.
Yeah.
You got really beautiful hair right now.
Thanks, man.
Do you ever just kind of look at yourself? You look like Mowgli from the Jungle Book.
Only if I was that skinny. Yeah.
Yeah, do you just run in with panthers and shit?
Oh, shit.
Can you run like? Give me your best move. Yeah. Jungle Book walk.
He does walk kind of crazy.
Yeah, so what do you got lined up for like what's the next stages of business you're attacking here?
I think right now is definitely finishing the website and then nailing down my process of interviewing someone and then figuring out what they need and then sending out proposals and then agreement and then start. So I need to I want to build an experience. So I want to figure out how to do that best, where it's beneficial for me and for someone else, and it's streamlined and I can do it with anyone. Because at the moment there's a lot of trial and error. I'm trying to figure out what's the most efficient way to do things. So I think at the moment once I get the website set up, that's going to be 1B. 1A is website, 1B is my process to nail it down.
You can only really focus on like so many things at a time, and you have to be. I haven't always been good at this. I kind of like do too many things at once sometimes, and I've gotten a lot better at just being like, all right now we are only focused on like building the website, so that all the energy goes into finishing that quickly, efficiently, and make it look good. But I think that's I think the website is going to be critical for your sales process, especially with strangers. I think that like having like for what you do, I mean, similar to what I do, it's like important to have that portfolio all set up. Introducing special guest Rambo.
Whoa.
What is up?
You think he was talking to the mic?
Yeah. Speaking to the mic, dude. You can kind of hear him, dude.
Yeah,
How you feeling, Rambo?
He's being shy.
So when you talk, like you need to set up like processes in order to be efficient. There's a couple people I've been talking to recently about this. Like I just comment and be like, hey, you kind of like, I deal with a lot of subs, like I deal with a lot of people. And if I'm good friends with them, I'll give them feedback. Cause like, I hope they give me the same. And I've noticed that a lot of people that like anything you're doing frequently or repeatedly, you need to have like a written procedure of how it's done every time, even if you're the one that you're the business right now. So like even though you know what needs to be done, like processing receipts, like how do we do that? And just like make an entire business like procedures book for two reasons. One, consistency. you speed up with consistency. And then as you hire employees, which you're not close to, but you're also not far away from, you want to be able to like easily communicate what they need to do and what you're thinking and everything like that. Like I have procedures written out. Like I have like a whole book that it's kind of funny. Like I've given it to Ariel at times to do stuff. And like, I'm literally just like, here, just go to this chapter. This is what I need you to do, with like literally screenshots with arrows, like boom, this is it. And if you have questions after that, just ask me. And then usually those questions get put back into the book. So like I want to be able to be like, you know, there for people, but also not like, we don't need to complicate this, you know. And if you don't have those systems, it's, you know, if you do it differently every time, it'll take you longer. Yeah. Like when I do checks, when I print checks, I like to do them on Thursdays because people like to get their checks on Fridays, you know. So when people are like, hey, on Monday, let me get a check, I'll tell them straight up, be like, Friday, you will have your check. And I'd always deliver. So people, like, when you have that relationship with people, they know, like, okay, cool. Like Mike Ross started a project for me this week, and he's like, sends me the deposit invoice, and I'm like, dude, I'll get it to you by Friday. And he knows it's going to get dropped off. But every project, all the projects, every contractor, the checks get printed on Thursdays. I'm not going to stop on Tuesday, go back to the desk, check for the invoice, print that, like select the one check that needs to get printed, put one check into the printer, print that one check, put it in, like, no, I do it all at one time. I even have envelopes, like, if I print you a check ever, it automatically creates an envelope. So, like, when I go to, like, mail stuff, I just, boom, out the door.
Damn, that's
like
sick.
There is no, like, I don't need to, like, which checks, these envelopes, print. Printer's running for, like, 30 minutes. And then I just put them in there. I sign them all, put them out. Like, it takes me, I wrote 30 checks last week. It probably took me 45 minutes.
That's dope.
You know, and hopefully it takes me less and less time. But I don't understand when people just kind of wing it. Right. That's not, I mean, some people are successful that way. I'm not saying you can't be, but it's not for me. I don't want to think about it. Right. Yeah. That's something I've been wanting to speak with more about. And this is why the happy hours are great, because every time I've been going, I've been asking different people questions on how they do their processes in their business, or how they got started, or what happened when you were faced with this adversity or problem or whatever. And that's one of the big ones I've been wanting to ask people about recently, is their process. I just kind of want to know basically the outline. I don't want to steal anything, but, you know, I kind of want to get different views on processes of different businesses and whatnot. So that's something that's been very important to me. Like I've been talking to Tyler, and I'm like, bro, let me know about your process. I want to know how you bring people on, how you sell, all that stuff. And I think that's something I want to talk to you more about, because you seem to be very dialed in. So, well, thank you. I mean, it's nice to hear that, like, outwardly I look like I'm dialed in. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Because I work stupid hard. I work harder than I should. At, like, I don't work that hard to, like, look, like, come off a certain way. But at the same time I do. Like I don't, like, in the past I've had issues with customers where they're giving you, like, negative energy, and you're like, where's this energy coming from? It's like, oh, because, you know, we took 2 weeks, we said their, you know, proposal will be to them next week, and 3 weeks later they got their proposal. Like, every little thing you do like that, you have to be careful with your words. You have to be careful with how you present yourself. I was always a firm believer of, like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that I get carried away with that. Like the podcast, for instance, like we're doing well with the podcast. Arguably, like, I think we could be doing better, but it's like everything needs to be, like, the angles need to be good. Everything needs to be good, because if this is good, then they'll just automatically assume, like, the guests will automatically assume that everything else we do is good. Right. You know? And so when I rebranded and went back out on just like myself, it was really important to me to make sure that energy was amplified so that the customer's experience was like good from, you know, the second their lead came in, however that came in, like, boom, like, what can I do for you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to a guy right now who, like, was very honest. Like, we're not doing the renovation I'm talking to him about. Like, he's not going to be ready to start that for a year, maybe a year and a half. But I said to him, like, look, like, I'm more than happy to come by and, like, answer whatever questions you have, because I know, like, the way I will come off and the way I will present myself and help them, like, they will be thinking for the next year and a half, like, oh, how can we really go with anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will do everything I can to win that deal. And I think that starts with like, literally everything. Like, how's your truck look? Like, when you take pictures, like, you know, when we take pictures, like, before pictures, or, you know, when we reach out, like, we have guests on here, like, taking pictures of the guests. Like, sometimes our pictures, like, have been good, sometimes they haven't been that good. Like, not necessarily because of the camera work, but, like, maybe the lighting wasn't that good, maybe we should have turned a light on, maybe and, like, if we could always deliver that, or you can always deliver that, people will just see you synonymously with quality. Gilmar equals quality.
Right.
Gilmar's clothes are quality, Gilmar's cameras are quality, Gilmar's, like, approach is quality, the way he treats people is quality. Like, they won't have anything bad to say about you.
Right.
And when you're in that position, it's very easy to sell.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it helps build that trust a lot easier if people are more comfortable with you. And that's huge. That's why yesterday I had such a good day, because I was out talking to people and, you know, in a way selling myself. I had client meetings, and it was just refreshing hearing that, you know, I was able to be transparent with them, and they were able to be honest with me as well. And they were like, you know, I told them I kind of was having issues with selling, and towards the end they were like, you're great at selling. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, you give people the room to talk, and you give them space to think through what they're saying, and you're not pushing anything. You're really there to help. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm here to do. I have a small questionnaire. This questionnaire sounds weird, but I just have a set of questions that I feel are the best questions to get to where I need to find out what they need, if that makes sense.
And you have that on your website?
No, I have it. Sorry, I have it in my book, but that's something I'm going to put on my website.
So when you're talking to people, you're asking those questions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great idea. And I think if you can, like, right now it's very intimate, like you're doing that one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of that one-on-one. In the past, and I'm not sure what's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to have a contact form, still have the contact form on my website. You're familiar with it.
Yeah.
And I used to, no matter who you were, go to this contact form. I really probably should get back into doing it, but sometimes I feel like it comes off a little cold.
Mm.
But when you're super busy and you can present it as like, hey, look, like, you know, I have a lot of people reaching out. Like, I don't want to forget about you. Like, can you fill out this questionnaire with all your information, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll reach back out to you and get in touch with, once you have that, like, basis of information. And for me, it was like, what's your name? Like, first off, your name, email, all your contact information is important to have up there. Then you do like, well, what kind of project are you doing? How much is your budget? And people would just leave the budget blank because they think it's like you're dealing with a used car salesman. I'm like, no, like, I need to know if, like, you send me a kitchen, you want to do a kitchen and, like, I look at your address online and your kitchen is, you know, a $200,000 kitchen renovation all day and you put $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I call you, I'm going to have to do some educating.
Right.
Possibly break a heart or two. You know, so, like, I think the questionnaire is a great idea and will help you, like, just collect the information so you're not like, hey, what was that person's email address?
Right.
Hey, what was that person's last name? How'd they spell it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what was their phone number? It's all boom, right there.
Yeah, right there. Exactly. Yeah. And one thing I do a lot is while we're talking, I'm also writing things down, words that are coming to me, feelings I'm feeling when I'm talking about what you want to do. Because I try to get real deep on why why you want to, why you have your business, or what is the purpose or the goal of your business. And typically when I ask those questions, I get stories on why it started, or why they're doing this, or why they want to create content with me. And with that, I just write down words. If I hear something and I feel it, I write it down. So that way it reminds me what I'm going to have to put into this, what emotions or feelings or the feel I'm going to give a video or a photo, or it helps me set the tone. And I think it helps them understand the tone I'm going to set for them or with them. So that's also something that I feel is different that I'm doing. And it just feels natural. It just comes second nature to me to just write down the way I'm feeling about something, because then it helps me explain things better, or it helps them explain what I want to do with them. But yeah.
So you use like writing out your thoughts as a way to kind of filter what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they watch me do it. I told them, if you see me writing stuff down, I'm kind of like that kid in that Science movie when he has his eyes closed. He's just fucking, yeah, that's me. I'm just fucking listening and writing stuff down. But yeah, I think it helps both parties out a lot, because then you both know what you're there to talk about, how both of you are feeling, or whoever's in the room with me. But yeah, it just works best for me.
Let me see if I can pull up this one thing I have. So what other kind of like things are you working on? Like in terms of systems, like what do you think you need to do?
I think I need to, again, just really nail down my process from someone inquiring to meeting to proposal to agreement to start, because I feel that sometimes that could take too long if I don't really know exactly how to do everything. Right now, I think I've done about 3 or 4 proposals, and every single one has been different, because I was just trying to figure out which was the best way to do it. So that's my biggest thing right now is the process. And then, deliverables and all that stuff, I kind of know how to send that out. Just put it all in the folder, send it out, title everything, name everything. But yeah, I think it's just that introductory process, and I want to make it more engaging and more of an experience, because I feel that some people should. You've always told me give people a little taste of what you can do, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that when we first meet. Like, should I was thinking maybe if I wanted to make customer testimonial videos, I could maybe in the first contact be like, hey, would you be interested in being a part of a testimonial? We end up working together, and then maybe while we're talking, I could let them know, like, I'm going to record a little bit of this just to kind of, get the start of it. And if we end up working together, I can use that for the future. If not, just scrap it. But I kind of want to do a before and after thing, where before I kind of ask you, what is the goal here? What do we want to do? And then after, once everything's wrapped up, we can do another one and then kind of put them back to back and show people results, and show people that, they wanted to do this and I was able to deliver this, because it then makes believing a lot easier.
That seems like a lot of work.
It does seem like a lot of work.
I'm not going to tell you not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like the first thing I would say to stop doing is, like, on your contracts or like that form you send out.
Yeah.
Don't put the person's logo on that.
Okay, cool.
Like, that's your form.
Okay.
We don't care. We don't care about their logo.
Okay.
That's a lot of work.
Okay. Yeah.
To
You're
go
right.
and get the logo and then like put it on there. It's a cool touch. I was like, damn, this motherfucker. Putting logos on everybody's shit. It's a very personal touch. But you want that template to be something you use, boom, done.
Okay, yeah.
If you put their information on it, like, hey, their name, address, like underneath your heading and everything like that, like in proper letter format.
Right.
But you like little things like that can cost you time.
For sure.
And you're right, your idea for the testimonials sounds legit. But I think that would be probably something like that's a later chapter.
For sure.
That's like a few years from now doing something like that. Like, I'm not that established, but I'm like close to it, and I still don't know that I would put that work into it and get that return back.
Okay.
It's all about, like, you got to look at your time as kind of like, time is the ultimate currency. Time does not equal money. Time equals time. Time is superior to money. Time kind of equals money, because what you do with your time yields money, but it can also yield opportunity. It could also yield friendships, relationships, things non-financial things that are much more important than money or health.
Right.
Right? Time doesn't equal health. Health doesn't equal money, but you can like buy health with time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of one of those things that you have to look at like, hey, I'm going to do this for the next hour. Am I going to get anything from it? Like we've done something. There are things that like you have to take risks on. This podcast is a perfect example of that. Like every week you and I sit down with a complete stranger because we believe in meeting and connecting with these people. Not because like, well, if we meet with this person today, maybe they'll buy a house and then you can take pictures of it.
Yeah, that's not the goal.
It's like that. It's cool when it connects like that, but it's a slow process. Like people sometimes are like, oh, you're still doing the podcast. It's like they don't see the value, where there's other people that see that value that we give and they get it. So like it could take, we've been going at this for 2-3 years. It could take us 5 years, 10 years to make anything of it. I think like the Joe Rogan experience took like 5 or 6 years before it really started doing anything. And then it took 10 years, maybe more, to pop off to the level it is now.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think we'll ever be on the level with Joe Rogan. But if we're, 25% of that, 10% of that, it's a big number.
Yeah.
That's a fucking big deal. But we have to know and trust that every week we have to show up, regardless of if we feel like it, show up 150%, meet the person, and the craziest things can happen. So you have to invest that time sometimes.
Yeah, you're right.
And then like when you're doing it in your own business, like there's things that I used to do that I thought were, cool or essential that now I look back and I'm just like, that was a complete waste of time. Like how I organize my receipts for projects and things like that. Like it used to be, it's still very organized, but it used to be like an auditor's dream. Like they could come in and audit me in an afternoon. That's how organized my receipts were. And then eventually somebody very successful came to me and said, screw them. Like if you get audited or you need to find that receipt, let them go, hand them a box and say, go find it. Get that. Go find it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like my receipts are organized, kind of by project, monthly, but like they're organized by account. So all the receipts for like each checking account or each credit card account go in a folder for that month or quarter. Like if I don't do that many transactions on like a certain card or checking account, I'm not going to make 12 fucking folders for it.
Right.
But if I'm doing so many transactions on a certain like operations account or something like that, that like each month the folder is like packed full of receipts, like maybe it makes sense to like divide that up to like, if I do need to pull a receipt out, it's like say a customer has a question. It's happened where customers like, I want to see that receipt for that transaction that you're billing me for. And some of the way our projects are set up is like they have the right to do that. So I'm like, all right, cool. Here, I'll go find it. Here it is. Told you.
Yeah.
Pay me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
just little things like that I used to just completely blow away. So in all this time, like organizing folders and shit. And it's like so stupid.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
You gotta just always take a step back, which you're good at doing. And be like, is this time investment going to come back to me in equal or greater form?
Right.
The goal is always greater. But sometimes you need to do 1-for-1 trades. But what's good is like when you get really successful, your time gets traded like 1 for 10, 10x as everybody says, or 1 for 100. Like if you put an hour into something, you get 100 hours worth of money back. That's not the case because time's always like the bigger thing. But if you meet someone that's like, hey, if I spend an hour here, you're gonna pay me $100,000, or I'm gonna do a speech, you're gonna pay me $100,000. It's like, shit, that'd be nice. I'll talk to 100 people. I'll talk to people for $100,000 an hour. Yeah. I'll drive across the country to talk for an hour for $100,000.
Hell yeah.
So that week-long journey across the country, or the flight there, the flight back, that comes into the negotiation. Or say like the podcast starts, like say we start traveling for the podcast and doing like little like series, which would be cool to do, like just do like start with like Philly, New York, like me going to see people. Like if we met somebody like there was a super successful business, and we did it for Lance Bachman.
We did.
He was a hard dude. We were never getting him into the studio, not because he didn't want to. He was too busy. So if we wanted to learn from him, we had to go to him. So we spent an hour there, an hour back. We spent an hour with him. We invested 3 hours into that podcast plus editing. But some of those clips still haven't hit they've been like fermenting.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like you have to be willing to do that work and know you're going to get it back. And I think a lot of people are scared of the work.
Right.
Because they don't, like, sometimes it's just like work is like, But I think for me, it's always like, people sometimes stray away from the work because it's like, will I get this back? Like, people aren't like, I'm going to go on dates with this guy, but he's not the one, so I'm just going to play hard to get.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. People don't realize they're doing that. They just don't want to put the time in there. Instead of saying, hey, I don't have the time, I had to do it for Mitch and Michaela's wedding. Mm-hmm. I got invited to their wedding at the end of October, and Ariel and I were committed to going. We were looking at purchasing really expensive lederhosen and German outfits because it's like a beer fest type wedding.
Oh, cool.
Theme. Like, I was going in there I was going to look German as shit.
Yeah, you were.
And then, like, as we got closer, we were like, oh, wow, there's a lot going on that day. Are we going to be able to, like, fit everything into this day and have a good time and enjoy ourselves? Or are we, like, trying to do too much? And then it's like, these outfits are going to cost us $600, $700, maybe $800. Got to give them a dope gift.
Yeah.
We got to, like, which I still probably will give them. Mm-hmm. Like, we got to go to that. We got to travel from the thing we were at like, relatively the same time. So it's like, dude, like, which one am I going to do? I had to choose. Mm-hmm. Because you can't, unfortunately, do everything.
Yeah, you can't. You're right. Yeah, it's interesting when people are afraid of the work. I don't think I've ever been afraid of work. I think I've just been overwhelmed. But I think as of recently, I haven't looked at it that way because I can't. Because if I look at work as overwhelming, then I'm just going to fail. So I'm starting to look at work as good. I'm lucky that I get to do this work, or I'm lucky I have this much to do. Because if I'd never made that switch, I'd fucking get anxious and overwhelmed and not do anything and just shoot myself in the foot.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You would. I know you personally, and you would do just that.
Mm-hmm.
You would just. I'm trying to find you this this chart, but now I'm realizing it's not even on this.
Shit.
It's like a sales chart. Anyway, I just wasted time. I'm never gonna get that back.
No, now at least we know it's not there.
Yeah, I think like I said this before on the podcast. Like my ex-girlfriend Molly, one time I was renovating our house. I was in architecture school, getting my ass kicked. I was doing, still running the business with my brother. And I was just complaining. I was being a little bitch. I was probably just a whiny little bitch. And she looked at me and was just like, "You thought this was going to be easy? Like, what you're saying? You thought owning a business and you just were going to be successful? You thought you were going to be a billionaire by 28? Like, and the way she said it, I was just like, damn, shit. And then it took me a few years to, there was levels to my mentality that were just flawed. So I had to like beat each level. It was kind of like a video game where I had to beat the boss and then get to the next tougher boss. And eventually I realized that I needed to do projects like where I'm at now, for instance. Like for me to be happy, I needed to do projects that were like high end, high quality, looked a certain way, like just fire projects, bangers. And now I'm doing that. I wanted to be the leader of a company. I wanted to run the projects. Like I wanted to like be the main guy because I didn't want to be installing trim anymore. I'm really good at installing trim, but like I wasn't happy enough doing it that like every day I'd wake up like I'm going to fucking kick ass today. So I started like cutting the things out and like reallocating, figuring out ways to make it work. Like I was really into the design. I was really into like the front end of the project, like the selling the project, making the planning of the project, making it like come together. And I got a really cool comment from Mike Ross the other day. We were like starting this other project, and he was saying to me, like, he just helped me with a recent kitchen, like home and like a first floor remodel. And he was like, dude, you crushed that project out. And it wasn't like, it was a fancy project. And like, you blew through that house. And I was like, dude, like, I really appreciate you saying that. I was 5 days off of my projected schedule. And that was only just because the paint took a little bit longer because I didn't communicate to Joe as well as I should have. Like, he kind of got pushed around towards the end of the project with other subs that, like, it slowed him down a little bit too. So, like, there's 5 days of him getting slowed down, or like there was changes of what color the steps were going to be a few times. Like, things need to be redone a few times. So, like, it wasn't all like my poor plan, or like lack of planning that area, but I had that project at like 3 months. Like, that would have taken any other company, like, I'm humbly saying, like 4 months, maybe more.
Yeah.
But I had, like, before that project started, like, I knew the HVAC guy needed to be here this day to stay on schedule. He was going to be here for 1, maybe 2 days. Literally at any one point in time, I just looked in Builder Trend at the battle plan and was like, all right, next week. All right, 2 weeks, this is what's happening. I need to text these people. They're going to be here in 3 weeks. I need to let the stair guy know. I need him here in 3 weeks on the day. I need you here on the 28th. I don't give a shit. I'm letting you go 3 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
If not more. Like, I communicated to him in April, May, telling him the project's starting. Like, when they bid on the project, I literally, on the scope of work for the project, like, hey, the stair guy, this is what I need. This is what I need prices on. These specific line items. This is when the project's starting. This is when my system is telling me you need to be there. So he knows 5-6 months in advance he's going to be there the 28th of August.
Right.
And he was there like 3 days before because we could move him up a little bit. And just stuff like that. It's just like, I really enjoy that. And that's what gets you out of bed every day. So the work is so overwhelming. And there was times in the past that I would work, or my brother and I would work, like, I don't even know how many hours a day. We would hardly sleep. We would just fucking work because we thought, like, you just work hard and you just make it big.
Yeah.
And that's not it at all. We were smart guys. We should have done way more thinking. But we're just putting rubber to the road. And that'll burn you out. But if you're doing something you're passionate about and you have a really, really firm grasp on your reason why you're doing it all, like a very firm grasp, the rest of it's easy. It's easy to show up and work hard every day. Everybody else is like, well, how do you do this? How do you wake up at 4:30? How do you work out after work, Gilmar? Like, different things like that. And it's like, well, my reasons why are I want to be fucking jacked and tan. I want long hair like Gilmar. I want, when you guys like start having kids, like, you want to be able to spend time with your kids, not work. So that means, like, right now I got to crush it so that, like, when I get to 40 years old, I'm still working hard, but I can choose what to do with my time. There's a lot of people. I can already pretty much choose what to do with my time. And I feel very grateful for that. But when you add, like, the expense of kids and that stress and stuff, like, it changes things a lot. I'm not going to lie. But if you can get to 40 years old and just be like, I don't need to go to that meeting today. I'm going to go to these soccer games and dick around with my kids. Like, that's a good life.
For sure.
So if you can connect, like, there's been times where I've, like, forgotten my reason why because, like, I just get exhausted by things. But as long as you're, you do good journaling and stuff like that, you're, like, every day look at your vision board, or, like, visually in your mind, just, like, see yourself pulling up to the house you want to live in, what kind of car you're driving, like, what are you doing with, like, what do you look like how, like, what kind of watch are you wearing, like, all those things. I'm a very firm believer in visualization because, like, I might be 5 years behind what I thought I would be, but I'm here. And it wasn't without challenges and still challenging, but I know why I'm doing things. So, like, I like when customers ask me difficult questions, or maybe they're a little annoyed or something like that. It's like, I know it's because I didn't. It's like, all right, I'll fix this because I know I didn't present this or give you this information you needed. Like, that was my fault, my bad. Whereas, like, young 20s me would be like, why are they asking me for this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are they asking me for this shit? Can't they see I'm working hard?
Yeah.
Or I had a customer reach out to me the other day. They'd be like, I know you're working really hard on that kitchen, but you still owe me an answer on this, and this thing. And I was like, I emailed you 4 months ago. I pulled the email up, and she's like, I never saw it. She was pissed. And I was like, I got back to you. I know I did. And then I thought maybe for a second, I was like, maybe I never hit send. maybe I forgot. Maybe I truly forgot. Maybe I'm just making it up in my head. I went back and checked. Nope. Didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I got back to you here very kindly. I was like, oh, this is what I said. Like, let me know if you need anything else. I was like, phew. Next time I deal with her, she's going to be like, Andrew takes care of business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like maybe that customer, I've had her for a long time. So like maybe there was times in the past when I wasn't as dialed in where like she could have caught me hanging, just caught me sleeping at the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're going to work hard because you like Gilmar wants to own this company. Gilmar's his own man. Like you're creative, you're honest, you're kind. Like you have all the things to be successful at business. Like the universe is like Gilmar needs a business.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like it's just making sure you don't lose sight of why you're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, the daily affirmations and journaling is something I need to pick up more. I do a lot of, what you said, envision your future and see yourself in this and that. I do that every day when I'm driving, when I have a moment of peace and quiet, when I can just sit there. I've been having a lot of moments of gratitude lately, and that's usually when I do that. But I think journaling is something I need to work in my routine because it helps me. I think it'll help me put things to paper, and I feel that once I do that, things become more real to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can clear my head a lot better.
I think that's true for everyone based upon the books I've read, like famous old dude books.
Yeah.
Like there's been times where I've journaled shit and like not even meant it. Like just doing the exercises. Like I'm grateful for this. I am grateful for that. And then eventually it's like not I am grateful for things. It's like you expound on what you're grateful for when you're truly grateful. But sometimes you need to just like do the repetitions like you're going to the gym. Like I need to just remind myself every morning, like, hey, I'm grateful for my wife. Hey, I'm grateful for Rambo. Hey, like podcast is a banger. I'm grateful for my friendship with Gilmar. I'm grateful for, this cool ass house that I live in. I'm grateful for, all the opportunities that are coming my way that maybe I don't even know about yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like just say things to like get yourself thinking in that positive that way. And then all of a sudden, like, at least for me, I didn't even notice the change. Like I just was doing the journals and reading and doing the things so long that it just like at some point it just kind of just turned into who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like, I am the person that's grateful for things.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't, my biggest obstacle in the last 10 years, I would say, was lack of gratitude for things. Like I was always focused on, and I don't like to say this word anymore, but problems. I like to call them challenges now.
Yeah.
Because like when you're in a video game or you're playing, like I'm talking about video games all the time. I don't even fucking play video games. But when you're in those like things, it's like these aren't problems. These are just things that need to be solved. They're challenges, and that's all life is. Like these aren't problems. Like we don't have problems. We have things we need to do to check off to get to the next level, and those are challenges. People with problems, like a problem is like your drinking water is no good. Like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Your drinking water is polluted by like a mangy manufacturer that spilled a bunch of like nuclear shit all over your fucking farmland. Like that's a problem. Like inevitably it will be a challenge, and like you'll learn, like maybe you come out of that knowing how to like all the environmental laws, and you can help other people with their pollution problem. Like you know what I'm saying? Like there is good that comes out of it if you search long enough for it. But like what you like to touch on what you're saying is like I get to do this.
Exactly.
And I got that I get to do this mentality from my brother because he's in the military, and he was joking one time, like they were like doing a training or something like that, and like the dudes were like fucking kind of salty about it. And he's like, my brother's just like, you believe we get paid to do this? We get paid to jump out of planes?
Yeah.
Like this is my work day. Like I gotta like suit up early in the morning and hop out of a plane 3 or 4 times. I gotta jump out of this helicopter into the ocean. Like,
Yeah.
I get to play this. Like it's play.
For sure.
And that's you see, like I very much like I feel good about what you're doing because I know like you're gonna connect the dots, but it really like and you can't help everybody, but like part of why I pushed you so hard to do this for yourself was because like when you care about someone and you see their potential, like it's like you don't want that person to have just like a job. You don't want them to drive every day and just be like, this sucks. Like It's whatever. You want that person to be like, fucking right. Like, I'm having a good day because this, that, and another thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you called me last week and you're like, you were kind of down in the dumps, like, I'm not going to lie. I expected that to happen.
Yeah.
I knew I said whatever I could say to you, but I knew ultimately, like, you were just going to have to, go through it.
Exactly.
You know? And that's probably going to happen like 8 more times this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of, you can only pave the way so much for other people, but it's good to hear that you're like,
yeah, that's the way to do it.
you know,
Yeah, I appreciate you saying what you said to me last week. It definitely put things into perspective, and it was definitely a learning moment, and I'm glad I got to go through it because I'm someone that I at least like to think that I learn fast. So once I encounter something and counter it once or twice, I know how to feel about it, how to deal with it. So, I'm excited that happened, and I'm excited that I now have that experience, and it's cool.
yeah, I think defining your why and like putting all the gratitude and stuff together is crucial. But like the other side of that coin is discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like one of the first things I started to notice was like you used to struggle with working out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were just like, no matter what, like Anna said or I said or anything, like you were just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that. Like whatever, like you were just like, oh, I'm tired. I'm scared. Like whatever it was. Like I don't even remember. But like once I saw you starting to like eat a certain way, work out, and be disciplined with that, and then like work out even when you don't want to, like then you talk, well, and then I started to be like, maybe Gilmar's ready for a business. Because you have to owning a business and then having people like owning a business and just being a single man and just kind of like being whatever, like that's cool. But you don't really have this, I don't want to say any pressure, but you don't have like the similar pressure that you do where it's like, you know, in a couple of years you're going to be having kids, like your girlfriend relies on you a lot. Like you need to, if you're going to open a business, you need to realize like, yes, this is my reason why, but this is also like, no matter how I feel today, I need to give it my all.
Mm-hmm.
I need to wake up and deliver.
Exactly.
And that not everybody has that. I don't know enough about it to kind of like elaborate it on too much, but the discipline is as Jocko says, discipline comes from within.
Mm-hmm. It does.
You can't make somebody disciplined as hard as you try.
Mm-mm. You can't, man. That's still something that I'm also working on a lot. I mean, my discipline's been better than it was 3 months ago or 4 months ago, but I'm still working on it. It's definitely from within. You have to reach a different part of yourself where you have to be mentally fortified. Like you need to be tough mentally. Where, for example, intermittent fasting was the first step for me, where it was I'm not eating until 1 p.m. And at first, the biggest struggle was
I tested that.
Yeah,
I would invite you to lunch like 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you did.
See it.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm fucking set on that. But yeah, the first struggle was definitely I'm fucking angry, I'm irritated, I'm annoyed, and I want to eat. And then I learned to be comfortable with feeling that way and using that energy that I had, that angst up, I need to eat something differently. I was just put that energy into something positive, try to turn it into a positive. And because of that, I think I've been able to be more calm in certain situations, or I've learned to tell myself, this is just something that I can overcome. I'm hungry, but I can wait. I'm good. I'm chilling. So I think that was the first step. And then once I got through with that, it was easy. Now every day, 1 p.m., it's my normal, you know. Sure, I feel hungry, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I get irritated. I learned how to control my emotions a lot better. So it was that was definitely an eye-opener for me in terms of discipline. And then next up is, I don't know what's next. I guess having a more regimented schedule for every day, kind of planning out my weeks. Because that's something that, as of lately, I start my weeks on Mondays and I set up things on my calendar. But in between, when I don't have anything written down, I kind of just wing it. And I don't think that's good. So I think I need to be more disciplined in how I set up my weeks. Because once I got that all set up and nailed in, I think I should be fine.
Yeah, I think there's levels to discipline. And I think organizing yourself and like having a structure will, I've seen people succeed without structure.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wonder if they did have structure, how successful would they have been?
Right.
You know, it's kind of like the structure is the backbone of like what you're doing, in the sense of like if you have discipline, you maintain. Like certain disciplines are like you maintain those things, and like your discipline is what you fall back on when you're not feeling like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm not feeling like it, I still get up and work out.
Mm-hmm.
I might not be as effective as I am when I'm feeling it, but I'm still going to do it. And like things like that, I'm still going to do it. Whereas the structure is more so like, hey, this is my roadmap. This is the road I'm on. This is the route we're going to take. But if we run into an obstacle and I need to go around that obstacle, I know where to get back on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the structure for me, at least, is like, you know, you wake up, you meditate, you journal, you read. Sometimes I read while I'm on the bike to kind of like time collapse a little bit, you know, get out of the door at a certain time, make your stops. Like I have to check in certain places. Once I'm checked in, you know, it's usually lunchtime. I used to not eat. Now I eat. I make time for eating. So like I try and meet other people while I'm eating. Like, hey, meet me for lunch. Like I try and get, you know, a little something done at lunchtime. And then, you know, then it's to the office work, like, you know, 12 to later at night.
Yeah.
You know, then you got jujitsu at 7 to 9. Some nights I'm editing the podcast or, you know, editing the content. Some nights, you know, sometimes I need to know, like, hey, I need to pull a parachute right now. I need to just fucking go sit on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, like, you know, that's my structure. This is what I need to get done. And then that allows me to, like, hey, if, like, you know, something happens where, like, some serious conflict comes up and, you know, I grab a quick food, but I got to go back to a job site to solve something, like, I know, like, hey, like, I need to get back to the roadmap of just being like, I need to be back here. This is what I should be doing. I'm dealing with this important problem right now, but I really need to be doing this. Mm-hmm. And that's the structure. Whereas, like, I'm still getting shit done. I'm still disciplined as hell. I'm still getting things done, crossing things off the list. But sometimes, like, when you own a business, you inevitably get sucked into putting fires out.
Right. And
as you scale, you start creating the systems to, like, put fires out without so much energy. You hire somebody to, like, if you've got a continuous fire going all the time, you find someone to hire to, like, solve that issue repeatedly. Mm-hmm. You know, if, like, you're printing T-shirts, like, you can't be there all day, you know, running the ink. So you get someone to run it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, new issue. This fucking dude doesn't know how to swap colors out or clean his squeegee. Like, now we got to do with this. So it's like identifying. I think being quick to change and identifying problems is probably the next spot you're at. Mm-hmm. Like, you are open-minded and you're good, but I think, you know, being quick to being like, all right, this isn't working. I need to do it this way. Okay, this isn't working. Sometimes people get attached to, like, the way it's not working. It's like, I'm just gonna keep doing it this way.
Right. Yeah, that's the definition of insane. It's like, hey, man.
Dude, when I was in therapy, like, more frequently, like, in the beginning, they would be like, dude, when you start dialing in, you're gonna realize how crazy everyone else is. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's not possible. I'm crazy. And then, like, they weren't lying. The more and more I, like, became self-aware and, like, worked on myself, like, there's times where I deal with people and I'm like, what reality are you connected to?
Yeah, right. Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. It's I love testing things out and changing it. I think that was a big reason why I was so much into STEM and shit growing up, just because I loved experimenting, seeing what worked, what didn't, and making changes. I think that's the exciting part of business that I can't wait to get to, where I can then take a step back and analyze what I'm doing and how I can be better.
Being an operator.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's fun as shit. and just seeing how you can differentiate your business and your processes from someone else. I think that shit's fun as hell.
That's my favorite part of running a business. I had to kind of like, when I rebranded and everything, like, and kind of didn't really start. In the beginning, I was saying I'm starting over. But reality, I wasn't starting over. I was kind of just like making a right turn and then just like taking a different road. And like the operating part of the business is the best part for me, but having to kind of like take a step back was like, at first I was like very demoralized by that. And then after a little while I realized like, all right, shit, like now I get to test my theories. Like I get to test what I think is right down on the battlefield and then work it back up. Like if what I know to be true is actually true, what's going to happen next? It's going to be no short of fucking spectacular. But if it's not 100% true, I need to like identify and fix that. So like as I rise back up to kind of like similar but different to where I was, like it should look different. It should look more thought out. Like it should have a different experience because now I can like, you know, rebuild those theories and then deliver a better product. It's like, that is a cool opportunity.
For sure.
At first, I was kind of pissed about it. And I'm like, I got to do this again?
Yeah.
And now that I'm doing it, I'm like, yeah, this bangs. Like, I thought I wasn't operating anymore, but like now I'm operating like with less people and probably going to do very similar numbers, which I like wasn't expecting.
Yeah, that's
was
nuts.
because the system works. But like there were a couple problems, you know, different things that, you know, you're never... Like being in business is you're solving problems for other people, but you're also solving your own problems or finding people to solve them for you. So like for you, connecting to people being like, and like it's tough because you can't go to people and be like, hey, your content sucks.
Yeah, no, you can't.
you can. I would do it.
Yeah, I can't.
But
At least I can't.
That's not your vibe. That's
No,
not
it's
you.
not.
That's not your style. So don't do
style.
that. Like going to people, like honestly, like I've told people their content sucks and then to call you.
Yeah, I mean, that could work.
I'm just kind of like, people talking shit, I'd be like, your audio sucks. Like, would you like? Dude, if I could thumbs down this video, I would.
Yeah, it would.
I can't listen to this. Why are you recording in a wind tunnel with an iPhone microphone? Like, the iPhone camera's great. The microphone's not that great.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, what are you doing? You look like shit. You want to look better? Here you go.
Here you go.
You're like a genie. Rub this lamp.
Yeah, I've come out.
Wishes.
Hell yeah.
So you gotta like, a long time ago I heard that, like the whole notion was like, if you make a lot of money, it's because you helped people. So don't worry about so much making the money, but worry about how can you help people. You can reach out to crazy successful people in the position you're in and be like, hey, I've noticed you're trying to make video content. Instead of just being negative and be like, hey, you look like shit, be like, here's how I can help you. I noticed you're trying to make this video content, but I can help you, you know, do it better where you don't insult them. They might get a little insulted still.
Yeah.
But you're like, hey, I can help you. And then if you make, you know, some incremental changes in what they're doing, and then it yields them like, you know, a big sales deal or sells a bunch of houses for them, it's going to be like, oh shit, like, was I selling houses? Or did Gilmar sell those houses?
Yeah.
Collectively, we sold the houses. So it's like being a part of the team, making people you realize you're on the same team.
Yeah.
Like I don't deal with customers anymore. Like if I come into a relationship with a customer and I feel like I'm convincing you to renovate your house when you called me, you aren't my customer. If you want your house to bang and be the coolest damn house you've ever lived in, when you have your brother-in-law over, he's like jealous of your kitchen.
Yeah.
Like if you want that house, I'm your guy. But if I got to come over and explain to you why you should renovate your kitchen, you're not my customer. If you want a kitchen, you want a house, you want a new house, like you're calling me because you want it to look a certain way.
Right.
I'm helping you make your house look not like your neighbors. But if I like, it doesn't really happen that much anymore, but it has happened this year, where you go to a sales meeting or an estimate, as they say in the industry. It's like, why do I feel like you are mad at me? And I haven't even begun to try and explain to you how I can help you. Like, you're treating me like a used car salesman.
Right.
You called me. Like, why are you, like, negotiating with me? It's like, well, can you? And I'm like, no, this isn't a negotiation. This is what it costs to do business with me. You either want this house to look this way or you want a cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say that, obviously. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes, like, I had a lady the other day wants to do, like, my price was fair. It was a fair price for what she was doing. It was anywhere going to be from 140 to 170 without, like, we didn't know what exact, like, there was no design. It was very preliminary. I was like, you know what, with all you're trying to do, it's going to be like 140 to 170, which, you know, in number sense is a smaller project. She emails me back, like, we go back and forth a few times. She changes, like, her whole plan one time. So I, like, nice, kindly was like, all right, cool. Like, you changed all this. This is what this whole new plan. It first started with the kitchen, then it went to, like, we can't do that right now. We need to do the master bathroom, mud. Like, it was still, like, the same amount of work, just completely changed scope.
Mm-hmm.
Sent her that price. She emails me back after a week. She's like, I really appreciate it. Like, I definitely, you know, next year when we plan to do our kitchen, we'll be reaching back out. But your price was twice that of everybody else's. And then, you know, because I'm also working in that neighborhood, I'm planning 1 or 2 houses in that neighborhood, just finished one. So I'm, like, in and out of that neighborhood. And I noticed one of the trucks that were in front of her house starting her project this week. I literally talked to her 2 weeks ago. I wouldn't have started that project. Like, we wouldn't have been done planning that project until January. Somebody's already starting the work. And I was thinking, I saw the name. I'm familiar with them. And I was like, that sucks for her. Like, she's going to have one hell of a ride. Like, they're going to be working on her house forever because they're just, like, it's that they're not operating on, like, operating a business. They're just hammer and nails type business, which everybody starts at a certain level.
Right.
And I kind of laughed. I was like, you know, it's going to be really easy to sell that kitchen next time she calls me because she's going to have this experience that's not going to be as great as she knows that she would have gotten with me. Maybe she didn't need a Mercedes for the house. Maybe she needed a Corolla. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't judge that.
Right.
But now when she calls me for that kitchen, she's going to really appreciate me because she's going to have this other experience to go off of. So, take it for what it is.
Yeah. No, that is interesting, though.
It's easier to sell against the competition than it is to sell by yourself. That's why I welcome that. Get other prices.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because the work you do is very exceptional, and it's different from other work I've seen. So I do get it where it's, you know, the customer for you is the customer that wants to do this and not just because they want the lowest price or the cookie cutter kitchen, as you said.
No, like it's not just because, like, I'm rolling around in a jet.
No, yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it costs that much to, like, the planning to yield a project like that. Like, it just doesn't get thrown together.
Yeah, use high quality materials, high quality subs.
It's like
everything. Design.
The subs I use are also very popular or very good, so they're busy. So I gotta, like, communicate to them months in advance. Like, the communication is one of the things that I've really grown to, like, enjoy, like, getting ahead of it. Like, there's people that will, like, you'll start a project, you'll be planning to start a kitchen next Monday, and those people will reach out to their demo sub, like, on Friday and be like, yo, I need you here on Monday. It's like, they're not doing anything. They might be 2-3 weeks booked out if they're good, if not more. So you got to respect their schedule. When you call them, you're like, I need you here tomorrow. It's like, oh, I'm not doing anything. So, like, I really respect my like, the people I work with time. Like, I try and be like, hey, they all have access to, like, our Builder Trend software. Like, if they want to, they can see how the project's going. If I know they're not, I can see if they're logging in or not, or checking it, or reading the email updates. And if they're not, like, I'll print the PDF calendar out and be like, here's where we're at. Here's where you're at. Here's the X. You know? And that's because I want the customer to have the best experience.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why you go through all that.
That's all it is.
Hell yeah, dude.
And bragging rights.
Yeah. I
I'm not
built
gonna
the
lie,
coolest
dude.
fucking shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and like lie to everybody and be like this is like some holy journey. Like I'm traveling to Mecca. Like I'm taking no prisoners. I'm out here like
Yeah.
like jokingly I'm here to put other people out of business because I'm so good.
Yeah.
My goal isn't to put you out of business, but my goal is to be so good that there's nothing left there for you.
Mm.
And those are the rules I'm playing on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really believe in competition. I think there's enough for everyone, but God forbid there wasn't. God forbid there wasn't.
Yeah.
Like I am playing a different game than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Gratefully.
Yeah. I can see that.
There are some people that are comfortable. There are some people that are assholes. There are some people that are just like think they're doing right. Like I seek to be open to all things, change when I need to change, but ultimately I play to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and winning to me is like happy customers, money in the bank, more happy customers, bigger money in the bank, more time with family, still winning projects till the day I die.
It's the goal.
Right?
Yeah,
and if you can do that, like knowing how good you already are, and you're much more mature than I was when I first started out in my young 20s, like you will just fucking rocket shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You'll be in a fucking spaceship with your gold teeth. Like, Gilmar, your gold teeth aren't space rated.
Get the fuck out of here. It's gold, dude.
Do you think they'd stay on in zero gravity?
Ah.
Like, could you imagine like floating around in space and like having to grab your teeth?
It comes out. Yeah, it should be able to stay in. They're clipped in. You feel me?
You stay clipped.
Yeah, stay clipped up. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, dude.
Shit. Well, damn, we're at hour 15, dog.
Let's fucking do this, dude.
Yeah, man.
Dude, our guest bailed.
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to our guests over there.
Yeah, to
Thanks
our
for
guest.
coming.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
His face would have been right here.
Right there.
It would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back. Be like, let's welcome our guest. Let's put his face in there.
Knock him out.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Busy guy,
Yeah, it's fine.
rock star lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even bothered by it. We had a fucking banging
Yeah.
conversation.
Had a great episode.
I'm stoked to get checked in with you.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we did this more often. But
Yo, for real.
when we have bunk beds in our new office, we'll do it.
Yeah.
What if we recorded a podcast like sitting on bunk beds, like you on the bottom, you on the top, and like we just switch to the cameras?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Stop. What do you think? It's at the bottom bunk.
Yeah, one of us is upside down.
And just like, Andrew, you still there?
You fell asleep.
I'm
dude.
struggling.
Dude, help me out.
But yeah. What do you need of the people, Gilmar? What do the people need to hear from you?
Shit, man. You know, yeah, it's been a wild ride. So I think for the time being, if you want to work with me, reach out. Amor Studios website's almost up, and the Instagram is on and running. Gonna start uploading stuff on that soon. But if you want to take your business to the next level, or you as an individual want to take yourself to the next level on social media or all your platforms, I mean anything, because the thing is the content I can provide can be used anywhere. It's not just social media. I also provide content for YouTube. You know, if you're a builder, for example, if you use House, any platform, I can just help you bring all of that up with you, your Google, everything. So just reach out, amorstudios.us, and my email is gilmar@amorstudios.us. Yeah, I'm excited to work with everyone, and we're going to make some banging shit. So hit me up before I'm, too busy.
Dude, amen. I'm waiting for Amor Studios to follow me on Instagram.
One day they'll follow people.
I'm pissed.
It'll come.
I just see the following 0. I'm like, the fuck is this?
Not following, just Jesus. That's it, baby.
That's
Doing the Lord's work, baby.
Dude, I don't follow anybody on Instagram. I just follow Jesus.
Shout out Jesus.
What's that guy on Instagram? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
That fucking
We
dude.
stand up here for my Savior, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Exactly.
It's like, the guy's like a retired Latino king.
He just stands like this all the time.
Yeah, it's just Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode with me and Gilmar checking in, hot check-ins. We're gonna get probably get a Google voicemail or Google phone number set up soon, so you guys can start calling in.
Ooh.
We've got a request for that. We're set up for it, but it's kind of hard to do right now through the platform that we upload the podcast on. It's kind of not. They're not fixing it. So we'll get a Google phone number.
Yeah,
we'll do the Gilmar and Andrew hotline. Maybe once a month we'll do that. If you're looking to be on the podcast, reach out. We're down to have you. We're starting to, we're pretty booked up for the next couple months, but I think we got some spots open in October. Definitely got spots open in November. December is always tricky with the holidays. This was Rambo on the floor, some part on the couch. Myself, Andrew, Gilmar Tobar, cameraman extraordinaire, the real shooter. We'll see you next week.